Welcome back. So we are a few months down the line with our M240i. Obviously we had a bit of a mishap with the tent. As you can see, the new tent is up. Me and my good friend Jamal was here to help me. We've been carrying on with it today, so we're a little bit further along. If you come over this way, you'll see we've stripped all the rear end of the interior out. We're about to take the rear heated screen out, and then we can start cutting this damaged rear quarter panel. Watch us. We purchased this BMW M240i in the hopes of turning it into something that will rival against the BMW M2. Along the way, we have had some highs, and we have had some complications to deal with, along with the lows. But for now, our full attention turns towards the offside rear quarter panel. And the best thing is, we're back with a new tent.
Hold it there, yeah.
Right,
headline.
There you go. Whew, that was a lot easier with Jamal. You saw us. Look at me, I'm sweating. It's such a hot day as well, or evening should I say. It was so difficult doing the rear side glass, but this was a lot easier, although it was a gym workout. The rear glass is out, ready for the rear quarter panel. Let's do this! We're going to start by removing the plastic housing for the fuel filler cap. Next we're going to be removing both of the hinges, and now a very good friend of mine, Jamal, who has more experience in this than I do, is barbecuing the glue or the adhesive off the rear quarter panel so we can start to debond it from the actual car. We've marked it up, it's time to cut. So it's time to make the first cut to remove our rear quarter panel. Now when I'm cutting, I need to ensure that I only go through to the first skin of the rear quarter panel, as it's a two-part piece. Next we will be removing the rest of the window adhesive so we can expose the spot welds ready to drill, so we can start to get this rear quarter panel off. I'll be making the second cut now, ensuring again that I only cut through the first part of the skin. And now it's time to drill the spot welds out. Next we're going to use this sander to expose the spot welds so we can do more drilling and begin to separate the first skin of the rear quarter panel from the rest of the car. I need to fit work that started my training. Yes.
Yeah, all that. Do what you're doing up there.
Now these rear quarter panels from factory are spot welded in and panel bonded in, so basically they're sealed in. Now as you can see, Jamal here is heating it up and we're literally separating the bond. Come in. It's off. We worked in the evening to get this off. Thanks to Jamal, Quad and Joe. The rear quarter panel's off.
It's currently 9:10. What time do we start?
5 o'clock,
Yeah.
5:30.
But it's
So,
off.
yeah, it's off. And now we're going to go ahead and put the new rear quarter panel on. Let's do it. Now that we've cut the rear quarter panel off, as you can see, we are going to go ahead. There's lots of preparation to do before we just go ahead and stick the new rear quarter panel on. There it is from BMW. So I'm going to go ahead and get this cleaned up. Let's go. So as I said earlier, as Jamal has more experience in body repairs, he is now aligning this rear bracket. This is the old piece of the rear quarter panel. So we're literally going to use a dolly now and dress up some of the damage at the back. As you can see there's a few little bent parts. So as Jamal straightens this out along the way, this will be back to perfect condition before we prep it to get the rear quarter panel on. We need to use a sander to get the rest of the adhesive off. As you can see there, now we're exposing all the clear metal, and this is what it needs to be, just so we can bond the new panel on. He's using a dolly again to straighten the edges up, just to make sure that it's a proper fit. Me and Jamal worked through the night just to get the rear quarter panel into a position where we can have it ready for test fit, and here it is. It's 9:15 at night. We've offered the rear quarter panel up. We've cut a little bit less than what we were meant to cut off, just to make sure it all lines up. And as you can see, look, the new rear quarter panel is on. We are going to be taking this back off and cutting it exactly where it needs to be, and then the final touches will go on. We'll patch it all up, weld it in, get it bonded in. I'm excited. Okay, so here's where we are with the M240i. The rear quarter panel is cut into place and ready. But we're not just going to go ahead and bond it and weld it into place. We're going to do what's called a dummy fit. So we're going to fit the rear tailgate, we're going to fit the light and the rear bumper, because obviously it's had damage around this side. We just want to make sure that it all lines up just before we go ahead and actually, you know, bond this in, because once you bond it in, even James Bond ain't taking it out. So we're going to go ahead and do the dummy build. Watch. So before we go ahead and bond the rear quarter panel into position, it's ready for test fit. We must make sure that all other components line up correctly, i.e., as you can see here, we're putting on the rear tailgate. We must make sure that this is all lined up along with the rear bumper and the rear light. We must make sure all the gaps are lined perfectly just before we go ahead and rivet this new rear quarter panel into position. We wanted to make sure that everything lines up, and then it's ready to go in permanently. He's cleaning up the edges so he can get the adhesive on, and then we can get this rear quarter panel onto the M240i. Okay, so as you can see, we've got the rear quarter panel on the trestle here. On these mating surfaces here, you can see we've took it right back down to bare metal. Obviously this is where the panel bond is going to go. We've done the same on the car, we've got it back to bare metal. We're ready to apply the... Let's do it.
Stop.
Now I knew we were gonna bond this panel in, but Jamal's bought some next level heavy artillery press rivet thing. Never seen one in my life, but I'll tell you what a great tool. So the idea of this, guys, there's a small rivet, 2-part like a bullet. You put one part in the other side and then the press comes out and it literally presses the rivet through both parts of the metal, joining it together. And now this is just a case of repeating the process, working our way up the rear quarter panel and popping in these rivets where required.
Excitement.
Okay, it's 11:15 at night. We're putting in the work. The rear quarter panel has been riveted in, bonded into place. As you can see, we've secured it all. It's all set up, it's all lined up. We've put the rear light in about 7 times just to make sure all the lines and everything all line up. It's done. That was the rear quarter panel, guys. I am so excited now that this project is actually getting somewhere. Stay with us, join us for the next episode. Let's go.